I have a major announcement right now. So the whole month is White History Month from now on. Happy White History Month.
It's White History Month. I'm gonna celebrate with my friends. It's White History Month. So be sure to tell everyone. There will always be different months to celebrate. This month's gonna be White History.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hi, y'all. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question, and it's a doozy. The biblical question, have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen God? Amazing. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad if you're busy and you're not able to just sit and watch it right now, because you got to make breakfast or lunch or dinner or wherever you are, depending on the time, because we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. So you can be listening to the show, you can podcast the show or whatever, right? But you can be listening on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And also, to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. All right? Amazing. So it is Thursday. It's Thursday. And for those who are tuning in for the very first time, we take all calls on Thursdays, but we especially take the Bible thumpers calls on Thursdays. And the reason for that is because the Bible thumpers call during the week too, but I don't have as much time to spend with them during the weekday, every day. And so we decided to set aside Thursday to have a little bit more time, because Bible thumpers are very difficult to communicate with. And when you're trying to communicate with them, they're not really part of the conversation, in that all they're doing is thinking of the next Bible verse to quote. So they don't really communicate. So you have to have a little more time, because it's difficult for them to have a normal communication. So we love the Bible thumpers. We love the Bible thumpers. As Hake of the Hake Report would say, he loved the boomers. So he have time for the boomers. We have time for the Bible thumpers. And every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday.
I know I'm supposed to go to my seat mama's a 10-year cancer survivor, and she's standing right there. Wave your hand, mama. 34 treatments of radiation. You can't tell me what God wants.
Somebody beside you don't understand your praise, but I want you to grab somebody around you that don't mind dancing, and I want you to hit the floor right now.
There you go.
What does the Lord have to say in 2024 when we see a qualified, brilliant black woman?
Women at the top of their game and the top of their fields are treated as if they are not the superstars that they are.
You can try to say he's any other thing, but this is a continued onslaught against diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Amazing. Affirmative action. Against affirmative action. Isn't that something here in the pulpit preaching that blacks can't make it? They are not smart enough, so they still want affirmative action. What? All they did was gave it a new name. A new name. Inclusion, AI, something that's dumb like that. What a mess! And so, it's Bible Thumper Thursday, 888-77 Jesse. There is a line open if you want to jump in there. I was thinking, and then I want to get to this other story, but I was thinking, I talked to, we have a counseling service, that's amazing counseling service, and I counsel with people nearly every day from around the world. And the one thing that most, but most Christians have in common, and it's the darndest thing I've ever seen, but the one thing they most have in common is that they have been convinced to believe. I don't know how in the world it happened. Well, maybe I do know. But the Christians have been convinced to believe that you can believe in God. You can be of God and still not have peace. Perfect peace. Even though Christ said, I came to bring you peace, to bring you perfect peace. I came that you might have peace. But they don't believe, the Christians. They don't believe that you can have peace. Isn't that amazing? And my question is, well, okay, you already believe in evil. You believe in Satan. You worship evil. And in evil, you have no peace. If you're gonna, and so you say, well, I'm unhappy not having peace. I'm just not happy, so I want something that will give me peace. And then you go to God, right? You hear about God, and they say God will bring you peace. And so you go to God, and you say, oh, I found him, I believe in him, but I still don't have peace, and that's okay. No one is perfect. You can't have peace until you die. Why did you even bother looking for God, a different God, if you're going to have the same misery, the same unhappiness? You're still going to be lost. Why? Why not just stay where you are and worship the God that you're already with, which is evil? It's just one of the darndest things I always hear from the Christians. And they don't question. I'm like, well, do you question that? Do you question why you say you believe in God, but you don't have peace? No, they don't question it. They have accepted the lie that you can't have it. They have accepted the lie that you cannot have it. And it's interesting to me. What a spiritual battle, huh? A warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. It is mind-blowing. But that's what we have. And that's why, not the only reason, but that's why one of the reasons America would never come back. because America is a Judeo-Christian nation. It was founded by white men who, with the help of God, created the greatest country on this side of heaven, and it was based on quote-unquote Christian values. But the Christians today don't believe that. They don't believe in God. They believe about him. They heard about him. They can read about it. Oh, they know the word. They read the Bible every day, all day, every year. But they don't believe in him. They don't know him. And it's interesting because we're losing the country as a result of that. At least one of the reasons. Amazing. So yesterday, Netanyahu addressed joint meeting of Congress here in this country. He was here, and he probably still is here, but he was here. And I don't know if you saw his talk or not, but it was powerful. It was strong. It was secure. It was definite. It reminds me of Donald Trump, the Great White Hope. And it was amazing. But there were, as a result of that, there were protests in the Capitol, over there at the Capitol yesterday, protesting Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel. And I was surprised to read this morning that some of the protesters were Jews. I thought they were just all Palestinians and those liberal who support the Palestinians, but I didn't know Jews were involved in protesting against Israel and protesting against the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu. I was surprised. But then I should not be surprised because all human hearts are evil until they are born again of the Father, until they forgive, right? So it doesn't matter if you're Jew or Gentile. If you're white or Asian or Mexican or Chinese, you're still evil until you forgive and your heart is changed. But it was an amazing talk. It was a matter of fact. Also, I have pictures of or videos of these people that were protesting, the pro-Palestine folks, quote unquote. They were protesting in America against America. They put up the Palestinian flag and took down the American flag and set it on fire in the United States of America. And they were allowed to get away with it. That is, I never imagined that I would see something like that in America. I remember seeing, we have reported on stuff like this, but it was in other countries. It was over yonder, over there, not over here. And I was okay with it long it was over there and not over here. And I never imagined that our enemies can come to our land and live on our land and protest against us, against America, on American soil, and get away with it. The enemy, the Allah people. And these people don't like us because we are Christians, and they don't like the Christians and the Jews. That was another reason I was surprised to see Jews protesting with them against America. But as I said, all human hearts are evil. And I guess those Jews who are, those Jews who are protesting against America hate America as well. They are the enemy of America. And anyone who has anger is your enemy. Be not deceived. So this is from NBC. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed a joint meeting of Congress defending the war against Hamas in Gaza and condemning Iran. Outside the Capitol, protests clashed with police. Watch this from ABC.
Capitol Police deploying pepper spray at protesters against the war in Gaza, where the Hamas-led health ministry says 129 Palestinians have been killed in the last 2 days. The protesters blaming one man they say is prolonging the war Hamas started. Israel's controversial Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, at a critical point in the ceasefire talks, defiant, not giving the conciliatory speech his aides had promised the White House.
Israel will not relent. Israel will not bend.
In the gallery, a freed Israeli hostage, Noah Argamani, rescued by IDF soldiers in June, and Israeli soldiers wounded in Gaza. Netanyahu's main target, Iran, sponsor of Hamas, which attacked Israel on October 7th. Netanyahu accusing the anti-war protesters of being allied with Hamas.
These protesters stand with them. They should be ashamed of themselves.
And claiming many were funded by Iran.
You have officially become Iran's useful idiots.
More than 36 Democratic lawmakers boycotted his speech. Others sat in silent protest. The Prime Minister thanking the U.S. for its weapons. He also complaining about delays, something the U.S. denies.
Give us the tools faster, and we'll finish the job faster.
Amazing. What he doing over there when we need him over here? We need a man like Netanyahu as well to work alongside the great white hope, Donald Trump. Isn't that amazing? I never imagined knowing that the Palestinians want to push Israel into the ocean because Israel has given up so much land over the years and kind of gone along with these folks. And they have given, and there are Palestinians, enough ain't enough. And so they want to push Israel into the ocean. They want to, and there are Jews that are going along with that. You know you're crazy. And there are Americans who are going along with that. We now live, and not just in America, it's around the world. We live in a dark, evil, wicked, vicious world today, all around the world. Evil, working through human beings, is trying to conquer the souls of human beings. And it's doing an amazing job of doing that, conquering the souls of human beings. And you can mark my word, you can take this to the bank. It's going to get worse. It is going to get worse. I want you to think about it. First of all, we have open borders. Joe Biden lied yesterday when he gave me a little talk. He tried to make America sound so like everything is fine, and it's not. Open borders, crime, criminals have been given permission to commit the crime, and they are protected by the law. The races are worse off today than any other time in history. Men are under attack. There's a major attack on men. They're putting these women, because the women are not earning it, they're putting them in so-called position of decision-making, so-called power, and the woman cannot make the right decision. And as a result, we're suffering. wars everywhere between the people. Ain't nothing working. I would suggest do what you want, that you wake up, because if you don't wake up in your fallen state of fear, you're not going to be able to handle the thing. Look at the people who commit the things to come. Look at the people who committed suicide already. Look at the people who are at post-traumatic stress disorder folks. Look at the people who are on drugs and alcohol. They can't handle what's happening already. You won't be ready for things to come. Pro-Palestine protesters rally ahead of Netanyahu arrival. This is from Sky News. On Tuesday, a large group of pro-Palestine protesters held a rally outside the Capitol rotunda. Inside the U.S. Capitol rotunda ahead of the Israel Prime Minister's visit to Washington, D.C. And according to NBC, the demonstration was organized. This is what blew my mind. According to NBC, now I don't know if it's true or not, but they're saying that it is. The demonstration was organized by Jewish Voice for Peace. Jewish Voice for Peace. So they had a large group of pro-Palestine protesters held a rally inside the U.S. Capitol rotunda ahead of the Israel Prime Minister visit to Washington, D.C. Where's the peace in that? They are protesting with Palestine against the president of Israel? What the? It was, according to the BBC, the demonstration was organized by Jewish Voice for Peace against their own Jewish people. They have taken side with the enemies. It reminds me of the whites in America who take sides with the blacks that are against them. They take side with the enemy. Did you ever imagine seeing that? That is mind-blowing. This is from Sky News. Here's a summary of the event by Sky News. Watch this.
A large group of pro-Palestinian protesters have held a rally inside the US Capitol rotunda during the Israeli Prime Minister's visit to Washington, D.C. Prime Minister Netanyahu says negotiations with Hamas over a potential hostage release and ceasefire is improving as he met families of hostages during his time in D.C.
The conditions to bring them back are undoubtedly ripening, for the simple reason that we are putting very, very strong pressure on Hamas and we are seeing a certain change. And I think this change will grow and we intend to do it. This is a war goal.
The Israeli leader is expected to meet President Joe Biden and the presumptive Democrat nominee Kamala Harris at the White House on Friday after a speech to Congress tomorrow. Donald Trump says he will also meet with Netanyahu tomorrow at his resort in Palm Beach in Florida.
Amazing. What would make someone go against their own country and join forces with the enemy of their country? What would happen? Now do you see that the battle is spiritual? I thought you couldn't go inside of the Capitol and protest. Didn't a group of people go inside of the Capitol a while back and they were arrested and we ain't seen them since? We haven't seen them since. According to NBC, about 200 people were arrested. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. What the? And these people burn our flag in front of our faces on our land. And they put a Palestine flag. The Allahu Akbar people who will cut your head off if you ain't paying attention to your neck. If you're not walking around with cover around your neck like this. And they took our flag down, set it on fire, and put up our enemy's flag on our soil, and nothing was done about it. These people were not deported back to their country. They should already be back in, at least out of America. Send them somewhere. Pro-Palestine protesters burned American flag. This is from the New York Post. Wednesday, after Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed lawmakers in Washington, D.C., pro-Palestine protesters tore down American flags flying outside of Union Station. Protesters managed to hoist Palestine flag up the pole, then tossed American flag onto the ground and set them on fire. Set them ablaze. Watch this protester burn U.S. flag and chant. This is happening in America. Isn't that amazing? Allah Akbar. That's in America, folks. That's not over there. That's over here. There should have been lines and lines of buses and police with handcuffs and put all the people on the bus, take them across to the borderline and dump them back over there to wherever they came from. These people don't like us. They hate us. And these people are serious. I don't know. We used to show this kind of stuff over in Israel and Palestine and Iran and wherever else, Saddam Hussein country, and they would be like bombing and cutting up people's heads and all kind of stuff, putting bombs on themselves, going down to the bus stop, getting on the bus and blowing up people. This is in America now. You don't think that's coming next? Amazing. 888-7753-773. 888-77-Jesse. Bye, America. It's over. Goodbye. If it wasn't for White History Month, July, there would be no more information about America. Not real information. Not true information. 888-77-Jesse. Quick break. Back in a moment.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, you know, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, you know, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man. All right, welcome back. 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. Brand new episode of The Fallen State tomorrow. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise, Friday at 12 noon. Brand new. This week, guest is Jason Palmer. It was an amazing discussion with Jason as well. Jason Palmer, he is a businessman and inventor. Investor, I think. I can't see it, but let me go and find out. Investor who ran in 2024 the Democrat Party presidential primary and was the only Democrat to hand Joe Biden a defeat in 2024 primary election. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
Our entire country needs to take the heat down and be willing to have dialogue.
Why are you a part of a party that's so evil?
I'm trying to ignore the fact that you call it an evil party. Sometimes I vote for Democrats. Sometimes I vote for Republicans.
Are you going to vote for the Great White Hope?
I'm not going to vote for him.
What the?
It's not the man's baby.
They kill the baby for breakfast if they've had sex tonight at dinner.
Half chimpanzee, half ape.
What the? When would enough be enough?
Well, that's a good question.
Amazing. This Friday, tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific time. 12 noon. You don't want to miss it. And you can donate to the Fallen State by going to thefallenstate.tv/donate or locals.com. Click on the link there. You'll see it. All right? You're going to love this discussion we had. And for those who don't know, Jason Palmer, he won the Democratic primary in American Samoa on March 5th, 2024. That's according to Brave AI. And he beat Joe Biden over there. We talked about that in the discussion as well. I want to just finish up on this, and then I'll take your calls. On the fact that on our soil right here in the United States of America, our enemies, I don't know how they got here, but apparently somebody let them in. The Palestinians, along with some Jews, according to this report, burned the American flag and put up Palestine's flag. They tore down the American flag, and they were chanting, "Burn flag, SH." Isn't that amazing? Burn that SH. Y'all know the rest of the words. In the United States of America, right in front of us on TV, while the police looked on. You better know we got some trouble coming. I'm not trying to, I wish it wasn't true. But it's going to only get worse. It cannot get better. There's no love in it. These people hate America. So I showed you protesters burning the U.S. flag and chanting, right? Here's where a man attempted to save the flag, but is chased. Watch this.
He got a piece of it. Try to take the American flag that was burning.
Isn't that amazing? One man, there's always one in the crowd brave enough to do something. The crowd is a coward. Whenever you see the crowd, they're going to always, number one, be on the side of evil. And number two, they will always be cowards. And again, I want to tell you, this is on American soil. That was in Washington, D.C., right over there by the White House, where the lawmakers are looking on. And we even have lawmakers, as you saw in the first time about where Netanyahu was speaking, we have people, Palestinian sympathizers, in our government now. They didn't stand for Netanyahu. And as a result of hating Israel, they hate America. And nobody said anything. A few people. They ran this one man off for trying to save the flag. One person. Here's a picture of Netanyahu and a flag on fire. A piñata of that's a piñata of Netanyahu, and the flag. They're burning it. That's not in Israel. That's not in Palestine. That's in America. They are now in our country. And more are coming because a lot of people are coming illegally. Now, do you believe me when I say America is never coming back? It's gone. They are now calling anger love, which is evil, and they call evil good. And now look what you have. If ever we needed Donald Trump, we need him now. Not in November, but now. Because between now and November, you haven't seen anything. Short of a miracle from God, the hatred in my country, hatred, is going to only get worse. Anger does not get better. It's only get worse. Look at your marriage life. Are things getting better with you and your wife? Are things getting better with you and your children? Amazing. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Luke out of Vietnam. Luke, welcome to the show.
I'm an Aussie expat, political refugee in Vietnam. Now, I have my own agenda of things to talk about, but I've been listening to you, Jesse, and there's one thing you said I strongly agree with just before, which is that corrupt people, criminals, are being protected by law enforcement. Now, was my intention to talk about
Luke,
yes.
What did you say in the open? Just you said you're on what?
Well, one thing you're talking about I strongly disagree with, and one thing you're just talking about I strongly agree with.
And what do you disagree with?
Well, I have a life debt to the Palestinian refugees who saved my life in Hong Kong in 2010. 150,000 people are in the rubble of Gaza, killed by American bombs. The international courts are saying it's a genocide. And
Hold on a minute, Luke. Come here, Hake, for a minute. I just want to clear this up. Okay, Luke, go ahead. So you said that your life was saved by the Palestinians?
Yeah, well, I was in Hong Kong in 2010, and I claimed political asylum from Australia because I'm accused of Australia's rarest crime, 60C Crimes Act.
And so how did they save your life over there?
Very good question. In Hong Kong, refugee cases are not done by courts like everywhere else in the world. They're done by bureaucrats in the UNHCR. And there was a sign on the wall in the government car park in Kowloon saying you don't have to have sex with a UN official or give them money to get your humanitarian visa because of complaints that were being made.
Luke,
and the
UNHCR. Hey, Luke.
To answer your question,
I'm going to let you go, Luke. I asked you, how did they save your life? And you didn't tell me yet.
I'm answering the question.
How did they save your life?
I found out that people were being locked in jail for over 10 years without charge, like Guantanamo Bay.
No, I got to go,
Hong
buddy.
Kong. Yeah, it's like
888, I got tapping a loudspeaker, but I want to know how you were saved and why and who you support now. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Dwayne out of Virginia. Dwayne, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on, Jesse?
All is well, Dwayne.
Good. I have a question, man. Before the question, I support what you do. I support what you say.
Dwayne, are you on like a speakerphone or something?
Hold on.
Hold on, buddy. Let me know when Dwayne is ready. Let me go to Josh out of Georgia. Josh, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Josh.
I was calling to answer that biblical question.
Have you ever seen God?
The best answer is I don't know. Because physically, I have not seen God, but everything physical is an illusion. So that doesn't mean anything. So, but yeah, the best answer for me, final answer is I can't call it.
So, to be a little clearer for me, have you ever seen God? Are you saying you don't know if you've seen God or not?
Yeah. I don't know for sure. It seems like I may have, but I can't with 100% certainty say that I have.
And when you said seem like you may have, what do you mean by that?
Just from seeing the changes in my life from since I, told my parents I was wrong for hating them and doing the silent prayer, that seems like, something is something that could be God is assisting me or helping me. Seems like God could be helping me, but I can't say with 100% certainty. I don't know for sure.
So are you saying that it's possible that you could have seen God, but you don't know you've seen God?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it is possible. Definitely possible.
Oh, okay.
But just to be completely honest, 'cause I don't want to lie and say, for surely, yes or no. But physically, no. But I think it's best to leave it as I don't know. And last week you asked me, do I believe in God? And I kind of don't know. I don't know about that as well. I think that's the most accurate answer.
Oh, okay. Amazing. Well, I appreciate you, Josh, responding to the biblical question. And I will put my little 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Sounds good. No problem. Thank you, man.
All right. Amazing. All right. Bye. 888-77-JESSE. There's a line open. Let me try DEWAYNE again out of Virginia. DEWAYNE, let's try it again.
How you doing, Jesse?
That's much better. Go ahead.
Hey, so quick question for you, man. I got a buddy. Me and this dude have been cool for a minute, right? We fell out, and then we started talking again. And then the dude lied to me about stuff that you shouldn't be lying to men about. Like, I didn't even ask him this stuff. He just brought it up. The man was telling me how he grew 4 or 5 inches and how he's 6 foot this and how he's making this much money. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, if you're willing to lie about simple stuff like this, you will lie about anything. And so my question to you is, like, would it be overboard to just cut this person completely out of my life, or do you think that I should, like, forgive and keep it pushing?
Well, have you talked to him about it?
What?
Have you spoken to him about the fact that you believe he lied to you?
No.
Why not?
Because I feel like he'll lie again. That's how I feel.
But you're not supposed to go by feelings. If you're going to be a better man for it, why haven't you gone to him and said, hey, you lied to me, or I believe you lied to me, and here's why. Why haven't you gone to him about it?
Because I feel like, obviously, if he's lying about his height, he's super insecure. So me bringing it up, I just feel like, that's a good question, Jesse. I just feel like, instead of me just calling him out and making the situation weird, I just cut him off. Because, like, either way, you lied. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter why you lied. You lied.
But suppose that in his mind, he really thinks he's telling you the truth, and you're supposed to be his friend and he's your friend, you don't even bother, and you believe he's wrong, you're right, but you don't even bother to go to your friend to find out what the deal is, and then you can see if you should be friends or not, but you're not even bothered. Why don't you be a friend to him by at least having a conversation with him?
That's a good question, Jesse. That's why I called, because I knew that you could give some wisdom. Yeah, that's a good question. So you think that I should be like, bro, like, you lied, told me that you was this tall, you told me that you make this much money, all of that shit was my bad. All of that stuff was fake.
Well, those things, what you've just said, they don't mean anything anyway, you know. But here's what I recommend. You be a friend to him, go to your friend, have an honest conversation with him, and you'll see the next step to take. But do not, however the conversation goes, do not get angry at him. Don't get angry. There's never, ever, 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 no matter what happens in life, there's never a reason to be angry. So don't get angry, and you'll see what to do. But if you are his friend, and he think you're his friend, and you're believing he's your friend, you owe it. You do the right thing by going to your friend, and then if it doesn't work out, let the dust hit your feet.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Amazing. 888-7753. 773. Let me go out to Wisconsin and talk to Stuart. Stuart, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hope you're well today.
All is well. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, I'm a second-time caller. I called the first time about 4 or 5 months ago.
Right on.
And, you gave me a lot of good advice about just not living by the intellect so much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I called in to take a crack, I suppose, at the question of the week.
The biblical question, have you ever seen God?
I say 100% yes.
You have seen God?
Well, I love the way you use the phrase, the voiceless voice, right?
Okay.
The thing I would say, too, is like the hand without a hand sort of thing, where it's like, if you're just waiting on the Lord, like the Psalms say, you're just, praying, or you're just kind of waiting for something good to happen. You're being patient and you're enduring. After a while, like you'll just see something extraordinary happen, like something's going to shift all at once. And like it's going to be almost as if, because it is, that God himself kind of like spoke from heaven, something changed instantly. You're looking, you see it happening. And then you look around, you ask everybody, like, you see how quickly that changed? That was the most extraordinary thing. And everyone's like, I don't know what you're talking about, kind of thing.
And so you have seen God, right?
Well, not with my own eyes, right?
You saw it with someone else's eyes?
Oh, with my own eyes, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said not with your own eyes.
Well, there was like a caller, 2 callers ago or so. He said all physical things are not real or what have you, but I agree with you when you say that it's all thoughts that aren't real and you can't trust all thoughts. No, I suppose I have seen God with my own eyes. Then.
So, Stuart, you're confusing me now. Let's start over. Have you ever seen God?
Yeah.
And what does he look like?
Like a spirit, He doesn't really have like a physical form. I can't really tell you.
And what did the spirit look like?
Like the most extraordinary thing you've ever seen.
Like what, for example?
Well, you're just, praying, and then something which just exceeds all expectations, like you never thought it could possibly happen.
Stuart, can you hold for me?
Yeah.
Let me take a quick break. 888-7753-773. When I come back to the phones and your super chats, there is one line open. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news, but the Hake, H-A-K-E news. 2 more hours ago. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them. The blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 1 already of Bible Thumper Thursday, the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's July 25th, AD 2024. Some call it Christmas in July. I don't know if anybody else calls it. But stay tuned for hour 2. JLP will be right back to your calls. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, Not Fake News for a chance to get on hold, to get on air with JLP. 888-77-JESSE, 1-888-775-3773. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports so-called Vice President cackling Kamala Harris is less than 2 weeks away from naming her running mate, with vetting and polling underway. Sources say that the roster of leading contenders includes North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper and Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, perhaps not a Christian, and Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, whom I heard Obama wanted him to be the president guy. He's an astronaut, former astronaut, Mark Kelly. But I don't know if that's true. Could be just a rumor. Oval Office address what happened yesterday. I didn't bother. Crooked Joe Biden, the so-called president, speaking to the nation, if you want to call it that, from the Oval Office on Wednesday. That's right, he's polluting the Oval Office with his hot air. He framed his decision to drop out of the 2024 presidential race as a matter of saving democracy. Quote, "I revere this office, but I love my country more." Something like that, he probably said. During his remarks, which lasted about 11 minutes, nice, Biden outlined his administration's supposed accomplishments, and he sought to draw a clear contrast with our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Nice. There is a clear contrast, that's for sure. Crooked Joe Biden also championed his vice president woman, who was just an affirmative action pick, we all know, who's now taking his place on the ticket. What a mess. "The best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation," Crooked Joe said. "It's the best way to unite our nation." Yeah, he doesn't care about uniting it. He cares about dividing it. He's evil. A new CNN poll shows cackling Kamala Harris improves on Biden's performance against Trump. She has a better chance, according to Common Nonsense Network, though Trump still holds 49% support among registered voters nationwide to Kamala Harris's 46%. Wow, so we'll see. Israeli Prime Minister based Benjamin Bibi Netanyahu. Some of you guys hate him. Some of you guys think he's evil. I don't know. We can talk about it. Call in. He struck a defiant tone in a speech to Congress on Wednesday as he sought to shore up support for the war in Gaza. He vowed to fight until we achieve victory. And he called for America and Israel to stand together. Netanyahu's remarks, in which he also promised to free the hostages who are in Hamas captivity, came as the death toll in the enclave nears 40,000 people dead, according to Gaza's health ministry. As Netanyahu blasted his critics in the nearly hour-long address, he blew Biden's 11 minutes out of the water with energy and length. Hour-long address, pro-Palestinian protesters in Washington, D.C. burned U.S. flags and depictions of the Israeli leader. They burned his effigy. A black on the inside White House called the protests disgraceful, with spokesman Andrew Bates adding that anti-Semitism and violence are never acceptable, period. Yeah, right. They support all that. Give me a break. And fake things. Trump rally, shooting update, politics. The House voted Wednesday to create a bipartisan, meaning evil, task force to investigate the attempted assassination of our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. It comes as lawmakers seek answers and accountability after the 2024 Republican presidential nominee was shot during a rally in PA this month, 2 Saturdays ago. Resolution to establish the task force was approved in overwhelming bipartisan vote of 416 to 0. You know that's evil. The House task force made up of 7 Republicans and 6 demon rats, I call them. Okay, they're Democrats, but I call them demon rats. They'll issue their final report in December to prevent future security relapses. I doubt it. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
To stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up.
uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Happy White History Month. And White History Moment is coming up for you in the third hour today. White History Moment. It's amazing. July is White History Month. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE. And my biblical question for this week, the biblical question, have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen God? Isn't that an amazing question? Yes, Jesse, that is an amazing question. Have you ever seen God? You can listen to the show no matter what you're doing, where you are. You could be out there protesting on American soil and burning down the American flag and putting up Palestine flag. People that don't like us because we're a Judeo-Christian nation, and you have infiltrated America. And now you brought the trouble to the land. You still could be listening to the show. On your iPhone, iPad, since you are protesting, you ain't got time to be sitting there watching it. You can podcast, but you could be listening by calling the listen line on TalkStream Live at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, we're going to get to your super chat. Hake is coming in now. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. Isn't that amazing? Yes, Jesse, that's amazing. And you know what else is amazing? It's Thursday. It's the second hour of the show today. It is Bible Thumper Thursday.
You know what happened? Can you see he's breathing?
My
this man
Jesus.
died since Friday. Elliot.
Idiot.
Jesus.
Idiot.
Lift your hands.
Call idiot to life.
Lift your hands.
My good God. Masalamasa. Idiot. Come forth, idiot. There he is. What an idiot. Look at him. Good job. I see the demons still in him.
Angels are being released right now.
Oh,
Angels
Lord,
are being
where is this
dispatched
idiot?
right now.
I think in Christian circles we have a very difficult time recognizing emotion. Self-control is my ability to enter into those tears, my ability to embrace that emotion.
What a beta. But amazing. As I said, White History Moment coming up for you. I want to go back to Stuart. And Stuart wanted to respond to the biblical question. Oh, Stuart is gone. Oh, okay. I held him over. Stuart, you can call back if you like. 888-7753, 773-888-77-JESSE. Well, before I go back to the phone, let me catch over to Super Chat. Super Chats. Super Chats.
Salty Mad Jameson donated on Odyssey, Odyssee.
You ought to see.
And I was remiss. I missed it yesterday. He said, tell George, your caller, to do a silent prayer. Your caller who had PTSD.
Oh, I did tell him. He said he would do it.
Nice.
I think George's going to be fine now if he work on himself. I had a strong feeling. We don't know. But I have a feeling that he's going to be fine.
Nice. Indeed. Thank you, sir. Lori bought a coffee. Biblical question answer.
Have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen God?
I just read 2 Corinthians 4:18. It says, we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. God is unseen and voiceless. Never read this before, so my mind is a little blown. Amazing. Are you waiting for the answer?
Yeah, waiting for the. And did he ever see God?
Lori.
Was a man or woman?
Lori sounds like a woman.
So has she ever seen God? Does she say?
She doesn't say yes or no.
Oh, so it wasn't for the. I thought it responded to the
She
biblical
said
question.
biblical question answer.
Oh.
Maybe she got carried away.
Maybe she forgot to write it down.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you, Lori.
Nice verse, though.
Yeah, it is. But I want to know, have you ever seen God? Thank you.
Ronnie from Ohio says, shout out to Hake for being accurate in his pronunciation of Kamala Harris's last name. Thank you, Ronnie. He says, Uncle Jesse, I say that in addition to taking every thought into captivity, we should also take every question into captivity. Some questions are stupid and should be left alone, while others are doozies that should be wrestled with for a few days. What say you, Uncle Jesse?
I don't quite understand the part about taking every question to captivity.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Because some questions aren't worth messing with.
Oh, I see. I don't know, Ronnie. Good question. But I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. And thank you. I appreciate it.
Indeed.
And what was Camilla Harris' last name?
Harris, I thought.
But
I pronounce it, maybe he meant first name, because it's Kamala. Kamala. I learned it from some guy who was on Tucker Carlson's show.
Come on, see me now.
Exactly.
We come and go. We come and go.
It's a great song.
Amazing.
That guy's weird, but it's a great song.
Thank you.
Soul Conscious 5 Coffees. Jesse, biblical question?
Have you ever seen God?
No. God is the light inside that guides and teaches me all things. I never had an image or symbol of God.
Amazing. Thank you for responding. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
No more thoughts about a coffee. Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
How do I differentiate between liking something and identifying with it? What kind of traps do I look for when I enjoy spending time on something like a hobby or interest?
Well, how do you identify between liking something and identify with it, right?
Yeah.
Don't like it and don't identify with it. Leave both out and you'll be fine. This looks like Trump.
Yeah, a little bit. Not exactly. But I get your drift.
Don't like it or identify with it and you'll be fine. Have fun. Amazing. Thank you.
No more thoughts. Also, biblical question.
Have you ever seen God?
No, I have not.
Thank you. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday.
April bought a coffee. DEI did not earn it. I'm a black woman and I'm voting for the Great White Hope. Love hands emoji, American flag, and peace.
Right on. Excuse me. Good for you. The right choice is the Great White Hope, Donald Trump. Thank you.
C on C, 3 coffees. Imagine, Jesse Boo, if you were one of those race hustlers with your knowledge, you would have millions of followers as well as bond office would probably be looking like Trump Tower. But look how humble and look how truthful you are. These race hustlers living large, but oppressing black people, making them feel there's no way out there for them in this country. Always oppressed by the white man while they fornicate or even get married with the whites. Crazy to me. But you're teaching about the spirit of God and evil no matter what the race. Sion, love Jesse forever. Red Heart.
Amazing. Thank you, Sion. I love you back. I love you back. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Brother Jose bought a coffee. 1 John 3, 5-6. And you know that Jesus came to take away our sins, and there is no sin in him. Anyone who continues to live in him will not sin, but anyone who keeps on sinning does not know or understand who he is.
Amazing. Thank you. Bible Thumper Thursday.
Nice verses.
I appreciate it, yeah.
Terry bought a coffee. Answer to the biblical question.
Have you ever seen God?
Yes, I have seen God. He dwells in us and with us. Many see him but do not recognize him. If you understand this, if you understand his ways, then you will see him too.
Amazing. Thank you for responding. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. The Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
Katerina bought a coffee. Yes, I see. Oh, this ends
It
up like
feels so good loving somebody when somebody love you back. Amazing. Thank you.
Katerina answers the biblical question, I think.
Have you ever seen God?
Yes, I see God every single day, every single moment through his creations, nature, flowers, sea, all the creatures, humans.
What do you look like?
She doesn't elaborate on that.
Oh,
past
she
that.
see him over there by the trees and by the flowers.
Yeah.
She see him over there, but she doesn't know what he look like.
She doesn't say whether she knows or what he looks like, but she said.
I thought you said she sees him every day over there by the trees and over there by the flowers.
Not by the trees and flowers, but she says through his creations, through the trees and flowers, she sees him.
Oh, so
not by them.
So it's like you
have
look.
your preposition wrong.
Oh, so it's like she looking across the road, but through the trees and the flower, and she see God over there.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, in those.
He's like standing behind the trees.
You sound like you're being smart.
What do you mean?
You're getting tricky with her. Call in and explain it to him because I can't help him, Katerina.
Katerina?
Katerina, yeah.
Katerina, call me. I want to know what he look like when you look over there by those trees and flowers. You see him
through the trees.
Looking through the trees over
Through
there,
his
you
creations.
see him. What? That might be Bigfoot.
It sounds like he's mocking you.
What do you mean?
You buy him a coffee and he mocks you.
What do you mean? No. Then she said she see him through the trees.
No, through his creations. Nature. She didn't even mention trees. Nature, flowers, sea, all the creatures and humans.
Oh. Thank you.
I did the best I could, Katerina.
Katerina, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. I appreciate it.
Apple 2691 bought 10 coffees. Hi, Jesse and everyone. I wanted to answer the biblical question.
Have you ever seen God?
Yes. Woman's God, that is. Satan used to control my mind and my body. Since you awakened me this year, I have to watch it, and that it doesn't control my life anymore. Thanks, Jesse. It's amazing.
Oh, amazing. So this person had not seen God. They saw Satan?
Yeah.
The question is, have you seen God?
All right.
What? Thank you, though.
Thank you, Apple 2691.
Yeah, thank you.
Very generous. Jessica from Texas, coffee. I'm 31. Last night I forgave both my parents. They didn't question why I was forgiving them. They just embraced me and thanked me afterwards. I felt they needed that from me. Thank you so much, Jesse. Have an amazing day.
Well, they didn't need it. You needed it. Forgiveness is about you forgiving so that God can forgive you because you're admitting that you're wrong for judging. You're sinning when you judge, right? And so you're admitting that you're wrong. So when you forgave them, God forgave you. It wasn't for them. They didn't need it. You needed it. So I hope you did it for you. But thank you, though. That's amazing. Stay with it.
Age of Inversion gave a Rumble rant in 2006.
You got to know how to rumble.
I had an intensely vivid and at times scary dream that ended in hugging Christ, and I woke up sobbing. I remember every bit to this day. That, to me, seems like the closest thing to seeing God. I guess that was a biblical question response.
Have you ever seen God? Mm-hmm. So she said she had a nightmare and she was hugging God?
He or she. I don't want to dox his or her gender, age of inversion. But, yeah, had a very vivid dream, scary dream, but it ended up in hugging Christ, and he woke up sobbing. And that's the closest thing that he's come to seeing God. So I don't know if that's a yes or no, but it's the closest thing.
Thank you. Thanks for responding to the biblical question.
And thank you, Games for Rec, Misty, Wolf336, and the rest of the supporters on the D Live crew. Appreciate the lemons and ice cream and such. All right, guys. I think that's all for now.
Amazing. Thank you all for responding to the question. That's amazing. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Let me ask you and Nick real fast. Hake is the host of the HakeReport.com Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., 9 to 11. And then the Anchor Baby, Nick, is the host of the American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. In the first hour, I read or played sound bites from the protests in Washington, D.C., Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, spoke there to the Congress, right? And there were major protests from the Palestinians and some Jews. They joined forces with the Palestinians against Israel. Are you surprised to hear that? Or that common?
No, I'm not surprised.
Why not?
Look at George Soros. He's a Jew against Netanyahu and against what's right in America. So there's a whole lot of Jews who are against whites and against the best thing for Israel. Israel's very divided. A whole lot of them don't like Bibi Netanyahu.
Why?
That's true.
Why?
Because he's too strong. He's too manly for them, I think.
Is that right,
and
Nick?
they don't like war. They think he's a warmonger, maybe.
No, it's true. The times
War
of
is
Israel.
not the answer. So what, Nick?
No, I heard that too, and I read that from the Times of Israel that Netanyahu is very unpopular at home. There's a lot of liberal Jews even over there, and they say that this war is kind of, basically after this war, they're going to just kick him out. Anyways, he's not liked there is what I'm trying to say.
So they feel about him the way that the Democrat and liberals feel about Trump over here?
Maybe in similar ways. Yeah, I'd say
or
it's
Bush.
similar.
Like he's also somewhat like a Bush maybe, but I think I think he might be a little bit more like a Trump than like a Bush.
Because isn't he having a war because he's trying to protect Israel?
Yeah.
And then bring the Israel
They speculate
hostages back home?
They speculate that he let the attack happen.
Never speculate.
I know, but that's what they claim. They say, "Oh, he let it happen so that he could do this war."
We can't go on speculation.
No, I'm not saying we're speculating. I'm saying that's what they're accusing him of.
Oh, I see. So, Nick, they feel about Netanyahu over there the way that the Democrats and the liberal media feel about Trump over here?
I don't know about that deeply. I just have this impression that there are a lot of liberal Jews out there, and my understanding of it comes from how they dislike Netanyahu. They feel they like understand the plight of the Palestinians in Israel, some of them, and so that's how I don't know it that deeply, but that's my impression.
But why would they hate Israel that much or Netanyahu that much that they're going to join forces with their enemy? The Palestinians don't like the Jews. I don't care if you're a liberal Jew or conservative Jew or Hasidic Jew. What's the name of that Jew you mentioned yesterday?
Message.
Not me.
A message Jew. a message Jew or whatever the kind of Jew. Palestinians don't like the Jews.
I know what it is.
They hate the Christians and the Jews.
I know partly what it is. It's just like siding with the blacks in Black Lives Matter. They identify with victimhood because a lot of the Jews have a victim mindset, and a lot of the
Jew don't have it. A Jew got everything. How they gonna have a victim mindset?
You can find a way.
You can find a way.
You always find a way to be a victim.
Well, how you gonna have a victim mindset when you own everything?
You know human nature. So
The
they
more you
identify,
have, the
and
more
the
you want.
Palestinians are very victim-minded, many of them. And
What?
so they identify with victims.
But they're like the blacks.
Right, and they identify with blacks too. A whole lot of Jews identify with the blacks and the civil rights stuff and all that.
Is that real?
Oh, yeah.
About they have a victim mentality. Don't they say they own everything?
Well, some of them may not own
I
everything.
think that's my impression too. To be fair, from the left and the right, the impression I get is the way I take what James is saying is like this liberal kind of idea to never allow another Hitler, never allow another world, like stuff like that. Is that what you mean?
Partly, but they're like a mama nature. So a lot of these Jews, especially the ones who are supporting the Palestinians, they're being mama to the poor, innocent victim Palestinians.
But the Palestinians are going to would do the same thing to the Jews like the blacks would. You know how you have those white people supporting the blacks, but the blacks will turn around and cut their head off before they know it.
Right.
If they disagree or say the wrong thing.
A lot of those whites who support the blacks are Jewish people. Jewish whites.
But they look white.
Yeah.
What's going on?
That's what people deal with.
It's a mess.
What is happening?
I don't know. Liberal. I can't even tell you. I think that's how I see it too, James. Like it's it comes down to this victim thing. They like the blacks. Like, why would an Israeli over there feel for the Palestinians? But they do. It's a spiritual thing. It really is, I think.
But look like they'll be afraid knowing that Palestinians will go around and...
I think October 7th
A lot of
did do that.
Americans identified with the Muslims after the 9/11 thing.
Huh?
A lot of Americans identified with Muslims and were like, "Oh, don't profile the Muslims as they're not all terrorists. We have to guard against Islamophobia." And so they became mama spirit to the Muslims.
What's going on there?
What's going on with what?
With all
with over there?
all
we need them over here? What a mess.
Why? Why?
You know, I share some of this, especially after seeing this Palestinians over at the Capitol. I've been radicalized. I'm radically pro-Israel now. No. I share some of this with Bibi in that he wants to, for whatever criticisms he may be getting for this, he wants to like create a new region in the area of safety or whatever. If it requires taking land and all that, so be it. But only a Trump-like person would do that for his people. Am I making some sense?
Yeah,
inaccurately?
absolutely. He wanted like make a home for the Jews. Everybody need a house. A house is not a home without a Jew.
Most of the harsh Jew critics whom I talked to, I asked them if Bibi's good for their country.
Uh-huh.
He said, yeah. They say, yeah, he's a good nationalist leader for Israel.
Yeah. They better be glad for Netanyahu. Because if they had anyone else, it would be over for Israel. Because anyone else leading Israel would be weak.
Yeah, like Biden.
Yeah.
You get Biden in office, and then war breaks out everywhere around the world.
I still would rather a Trump for us and their own Trump over there. That's nice, but I want our Trump to dominate their Trump. You know what I mean? All other Trumps
It's interesting that
around the world.
Yeah. Obama and Biden both hate Netanyahu, seemingly. And Netanyahu doesn't like them. And Netanyahu is always... Remember, Netanyahu came and had an address to the Congress during the Obama administration.
Obama does not like Netanyahu.
And there were all these wars under Obama and under Biden.
I heard they invited Netanyahu when Obama was president over to talk like kind of he's doing now.
Yeah.
And then Obama wasn't too happy about it or something.
Obama's like, what the?
Because Obama's a Soros guy,
Yeah.
a Soros type of guy.
So is Soros Jewish?
Mm-hmm.
Why he hate his own people? Does he hate his own people?
He definitely harbors hatred in his heart to be a liberal Black Lives Matter supporter. I think he subverted a lot of countries. And the reason that I heard from one of my guests that the reason that we normal conservatives don't like George Soros is because of propaganda from Netanyahu. Because they don't like each other.
Base.
But
there's always going to be Jews who are divided against each other. And everybody else is divided against each other.
one last thing that I got to move on. Where did, what's the Jew name that don't like Netanyahu?
Soros.
Where did Soros get so much money from that he can make countries liberal?
He's super, I guess he's smart, I guess.
How smart?
And
High
cunning.
IQ.
What?
Investment, right? Does it investment?
I'm trying to find out. I forget where he made all this money.
Where do you get that much money that he can turn another country into a liberal country?
Yeah, it's wild.
I forget what he invested
Just supporting total unrest and subversion and
I know, but
self-destruction.
where do you get that kind of money that that
I remember he was
influence
quite
other
famous.
people?
I remember doing a whole report on this. He's famous for, they call him the man who broke the Bank of England. And he made a whole bunch of money back in the 90s, short selling the British pound. And that's just one of the ways he's made a whole bunch of money.
That's how he made the money?
That's just one way he's made a whole bunch of money. So this is one particular way is currency speculation. He correctly predicted the British pound would go down, so he shorted it and made a whole bunch of money.
Oh, and so where do you go to get that kind of, to apply for that job?
You got to have the info, man. You ain't going to have the money to be ready for that kind of opportunity.
There's Christian
Do
capitalism.
they have openings?
There's Christian capitalism like Elon Musk, and then there's commie capitalism like George Soros.
Joel said Nick is hiding in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Him? Wait, is it because I'm like coming out like this? Wait, what do you mean? Is this better?
I don't know.
That's a little bit better.
What's it mean? Is it because I'm like coming out like this? It's the way this chair is and the shot is.
Where's the other chair?
No, the other chair wouldn't fix this, but this looks better if I lean. There you go.
Yeah, maybe the shot needs to.
Oh, switch chairs.
No, switching the chair won't help.
Oh, it won't?
No.
Amazing. So this guy, he got all the money because he broke the bank.
They say.
Yeah, but you have to have some money to begin with in order to break a bank.
Right. How often do you get that kind of job, though, when the bank is open to be broken?
Well, I don't know. They know how to deal with people and get along with people and make deals. It's like that.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm just going to follow
I don't know where
Pelosi's
he got it
trades.
from either.
I'm just going to follow Nancy Pelosi's trades. Get rich.
I should be looking at the chat. The chat might be trying
What?
to tell us.
So wasn't it?
I said, I don't know about you guys, but I'll just follow Nancy Pelosi's trades. They say that these politicians are trading the stock market with insider information. So why don't we just follow their trades? They're public.
Is Musk a Christian? No, I don't know if Elon Musk is a Christian, but he's like somewhat
Trump
Christian
love him.
friendly. What, Trump does?
Trump love Elon Musk.
Yeah, and Elon Musk loves Trump.
Yeah.
I don't know if Elon Musk is a Christian. I was just saying that his capitalism is more Christian. Like he's using X to push good and other things like that. I think.
Absolutely.
Or trying to anyway. Halfway.
Yeah, I think my personal opinion is he's going through like a public change. You can kind of see it because he's a public figure.
Who?
Elon Musk, he's wearing the satanic armor at some party. He loses his son. He takes back Twitter. Now we're seeing him on some interview saying, "Yeah, they took my son, and that's why I'm doing all this to destroy the woke mind virus."
Does Elon Musk have as much money as Soros, or Soros?
They say he's the richest.
I think he has more
man in the world.
Than Soros?
I think so.
So Elon Musk can turn a liberal country conservative.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if
I think only
the
God
correct
can do
systems
that.
are in place for
Satan.
that.
Huh?
I don't know if the correct framework is in place. These countries, they over many years have built they put communists and liberals in their government.
Amazing. So Omid is saying that something doesn't require much money. Arbitrage.
Investing.
Arbitrage or arbitrage.
He said arbitrage.
Buying and selling at the same time and making automatic profit.
That's what arbitrage mean?
I don't know. I think.
What does arbitrage mean? He gave us this white word, and he didn't put the meaning, and now we don't know.
Arbitrage trading is a strategy used by traders to exploit price differences of the same asset in different markets or forms. Nice.
All right, well, I want me some arbitrage.
I don't understand it, but whoever out there, someone understood it.
Yeah.
Because I gave them the definition.
Thank you. Well, what a mess! Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I'm still not clear on that.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for nothing.
All right. When I come back, straight to your phone calls and your super chats, right after this quick break. Back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. Bible Thumper Thursday, 888-7753-773. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake, Hake report.com. You don't want to miss it. From 9 to 11, and after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV. He black. Joel Friday TV. At 11 a.m. right after the Hake Report. And then after Joel Friday TV, the American Anchor Baby.
At 4 p.m. today.
Oh, you're on at 4 today?
Yeah, I let my viewers know. It's like an early Friday, but I let my viewers know this week that today and tomorrow are evening shows.
Oh, okay. So the American Anchor Baby this afternoon, this evening at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Not 12. Joel like, Lord, Nick. Not 12 today. It's at 4 p.m. The American Anchor Baby. Did y'all catch the head American Anchor Baby yesterday? It was deep. But if he's at 4 today, get ready for a bumpy ride, a smooth ride. At 4 p.m. on the Trump train. At 4 p.m. You don't want to miss it. At 4 p.m. Remember, not at 12. All right? 888-7753-773. Let me go to, is it RAINA? RAINA out of Canada. RAINA, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you. Nice to hear from you and see you.
Thank you. You too, RAINA.
So to answer the question, if I see God.
Have you ever seen God?
If I've ever seen God, I see God every day. I see it in good acts, people that do good acts. I see it in nature. When I had my children, anything that's positive and good to me is God. But I have to tell you something.
And so let me ask this first, and then you can say that. So you seen God in nature?
Well, when I look at trees, because I've always lived in the bush, and I look at trees.
Are you an Indian?
Yes.
Oh, that's why you're in the bushes.
Yes.
Come out the bushes. No,
I do.
And so what does God look like in the bushes?
Well, what God looks like, it's more of a feeling, maybe, I guess you can say, because when I do look at the trees, it's so funny. I feel like one. I don't feel better than the trees. I feel the same as the trees.
You
like
feel one with the tree?
Oh, yes, I do.
What the?
Yeah, I feel one with the tree. Like we're all created from this one God.
And when you had your baby, your children, you saw God in them too?
Yes, the miracle of them. Well, miracle.
Everybody think that their baby look like God.
No, I think all babies. That's why when I see other babies, I feel the same way. Like, oh,
when I see those babies, I go, what the?
But I have to tell you about the silent prayer.
Yes.
Okay. When I'm doing the silent prayer, okay, you asked me before, this is the second time I call, you asked me who I was, and I wasn't really able to answer you, and now I know I am the awareness. And when I'm aware
You are
of
the awareness?
yes,
What does that mean?
I'm aware of my thoughts. When I do my silent prayer, I'm aware of my thoughts, and you know what happens, Jesse? When I look at it straight in the face, my thoughts, they disappear.
Absolutely.
The moment that I see it, unfortunately, it doesn't last all day or it doesn't last long. But that's what it totally goes away. And when that goes away, like a brightness, to me, that's God.
Amazing. Well, when they go away like that, you just come back because you're so accustomed to not being present and being floating in the illusion of time.
Oh,
So just come back to it. Eventually, that will become the normal way.
Really?
Yeah. Eventually, it will be normal to live in the present rather than living in your thoughts and your imagination. So just keep coming back. If you fall out of consciousness, just come back to the present. And even if you have to do it 1,000 times a day, you come back to it.
Oh, sometimes I'll just be doing dishes. I'll stop. I'll lean on my counter, and then I just go into I'll call it the silent prayer, right?
Yes.
And I'll, like I said, I'll stare it in the face, my thoughts, and it goes away immediately.
Yes.
It's amazing.
It is. Well, you stay with it, RAINA. Stay with it. Stay with it. And I appreciate you responding to the biblical question. I will put my little 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
I'll be listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, RAINA. Call me again.
I have another question, if it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I forgive my mother and father, but something keeps coming up. It's crazy. And I realize I have to forgive my ex-husband.
Oh, good.
And that is good.
If you need to forgive him, absolutely.
Okay. I was just wondering, maybe I said, maybe it's my thoughts, maybe, because that's what comes in strong. And the more that, I have to forgive him, the more,
Yeah, apologize to him for judging him.
Yes. You think I should? Do I have to do that in person?
You could do it by FaceTime or Skype.
Okay. No, I can be face to face with him. We're civil.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then that's fine.
Okay, Jesse. Thank you very much.
RAINA, let me ask. Yes. Do you spell your name with a R-A or R-E?
R-A-I-N-A. Like the rain with an A.
Nice. Okay. Thank you so much. Call me again, all right?
Thank you, and have a good day.
You too. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Let me go to first time call out of Florida. Tony. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, Tony.
Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Hi. I'd like to start by answering the biblical question.
Have you ever seen God?
I don't know. But what I can say, like I'm Kimberly Cheadle, is that I've seen the order of God. And I do consider myself to be a transgender, whatever that term means, because, Jesse, I believe I've taken your message and applied it to my life. And what I found is that I had the nature of my mother for decades, and I was in hell.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
I had no idea. How to. I knew something. Anyway, I found you, and I returned to the nature of my father. And it's an interesting. I feel as though I'm an interesting person in this scenario with your mission, because all of the things that you're preaching apply to my life. I'm a biblical flat earther. I have a homosexual father and a a diehard American conservative mother, and I consider myself to be transgender.
What a mess!
What a mess! Yeah. But now I feel no way about any of it.
Right on.
And
right on.
I hope to only be used as a vessel by the most powerful, the Most High. And Jesse, I maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not on the right path, but I feel I've applied the message that I think you are putting out there to my life, and I feel it, I see it. I've changed natures. It's not something. God is not something that I've seen. Like he's in the bushes. You know what I mean? Like he's in the trees and the bark, and he's right there. He is. Oh, he's. But when you see the order, when you see his order of Christ over man, man over woman, woman over children, and you see that in the world. I mean, it's not. I don't know how to explain seeing, but I've seen that order, and that's how I've come to what I believe to see God. And yes, Jesse, I am a. The earth is not what they have told the children in elementary school. It's simply not. So I'm calling because I am confused at why you are convinced, or why you hold on to this need for people to believe what they have been taught by the government.
Are you saying that
children?
Are you saying that you believe the earth is flat or round?
I'm not claiming anything, Jesse. I'm saying the education taught to our children is messed up, and you know that.
Education is messed up, that's for
sure. Is a lie. Right. And what they told you, what they taught you, what they taught everyone, and what they're still teaching currently is a lie. I think you and I can both agree with that.
Tony, let me ask first. Did you say that you were a biblical flat earther?
If you want to label me...
No, I said, did you say that? I'm asking, did you say that?
I might have said that, yes. Yeah, I might have said that.
Oh, okay.
I don't label myself as anything, though. I just wanted to have a reference of conversation.
Oh, I got you. Have you gone and forgiven your mother and father?
Yes, I have.
How did that go when you went to them?
With me, it was interesting, Jesse, because I started listening to you, and your message hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, oh, my God, I was freaking out. I said, oh, my God, I need to forgive. I have to go and forgive. Yeah. I got to call my mom. I need to do these things. It's so horrible. But I listened to you long enough, and I called my mom. Maybe after a few months of listening to you, I didn't fully understand your message when I did it. I will admit, I'm not exactly sure I knew what I was doing when I forgave my mom. But what I said was this. I said, Mother, I forgive you. And she laughed at me. I did this on a phone call. I called her because she lives a little far away, and I didn't FaceTime her or anything, but the relationship I have with my mom, I just called her. And I said, Mother, I forgive you. And she reacted in the way that she did, which was negative, but I pushed it aside, and she was a little confused, and I said, okay, Mom, whatever it is that I need to forgive you for, whatever any feelings or emotions or negativity or hate or anger or anything of the past which doesn't exist, anything, look, I forgive you, okay? I know you're not the cause of any problems in my life, and you've done amazing. And she got a little upset with me. She was like, "No, you're right. I'm not the cause of your problems. Your dad, you know." She said, "No, that's your dad."
Yeah, they always blame somebody else.
Yeah, well, forgiving my father was a little bit more difficult because, like I said, he is a homosexual. He was married to my mother for 30 years, maybe 25 years. He had 2 children, and they got divorced at the day I moved out. It was like they were just waiting on me to leave, and then they said, okay, thank God we don't have to deal with this family anymore. But forgiving him was a little different because he took it very offensively. I said, Dad, I forgive you for the same thing I said to my mom.
Right.
I said, Dad, I forgive you for any or everything. I didn't know exactly what I was doing, but he reacted in such a way that I'm blocked. I have no communication with him anymore, but I've managed to salvage a relationship with my mother. We're just cool. She lives her life. I live my life. It's great.
So let me ask you because of time. Are you doing the silent prayer now?
I live the silent prayer, Jesse. I have taken waking up and doing the silent prayer into the day. I've taken that, and when you say do it at night, I've taken that further into the evening, and they both met. I live the silent prayer,
Tony,
and I can see when I go unconscious. I understand when it is I go unconscious.
Tony, stay with it, and make sure you just watch those thoughts.
Yeah,
don't try to do anything about them. Don't run away from them. Don't try to control them. I'm
not struggling with the thoughts anymore, Jesse.
Right on.
What I'm struggling with is you are telling people to trust their public education and laughing at people who are inquisitive about where they live.
I don't know what you mean by that, because I tell people public education is is no good, and I'm
talking about the knowledge spread. I'm not talking about the institution. I'm talking about the knowledge given in these institutions. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I don't.
Like in 4th grade, they teach you things, right? They teach you live here. They teach you this is how you read that. They teach you how you numbers do this.
Well, let me do this because of time, and I want you to call me again, but I am not for public education at all, period, at no level.
You're defending what they're teaching, though, Jesse.
I'm not defending. I'm not for it. How can I be defending it when I say that?
You're hating on a class of people who know that it's a lie.
Tony,
yes.
I tell parents that I say that parents who send their children to public schools for public education, they hate their children, and that's why they're sending them off to school, because they hate their children.
Exactly.
Because if you love your children, there's no way you would send them to...
There's no way.
Right. So you got it backward. I'm not for it. But call me again, Tony, and stay with it, all right?
No. Yeah. Okay, Jesse. I love you.
Love you too,
amazing. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. 888-775-3773. Let me go to Canada and talk to the first-time caller, Sean. Sean, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Jesse, thank you for taking my call. I'm calling from the Great White North.
Welcome. Thank you for calling.
I wanted to say I really appreciate the things that you do. Not only the show, but the other aspects of the work that you do.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing.
Amazing.
I did want to answer the biblical question as well.
Absolutely. Have you ever seen God?
You know what? Oddly enough, I'm going to have to agree with the other Canadian caller earlier. I don't know, maybe there's something in the water, but it seems like we're seeing God all over the place up here.
So have you seen God?
I have 2 beautiful children, and they were such a blessing to my life, and I did feel a connection to God. I don't know if I visually saw him, but the smile of a child's face is really something special.
And so have you ever seen God?
Not visually, but in my heart.
And so the biblical question, have you ever seen God? And you say?
I would like to say yes.
So you have seen God.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he look like?
Looks like love.
Like love. And what does love look like?
It's beautiful.
And what is beautiful about love?
Well, I think that's how God communicates to us.
Amazing. I appreciate, Sean, your input on that response to the biblical question. Very, very interesting. And I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't
May I
rise.
ask you a small favor?
Yes.
It's my birthday today.
Amazing.
Would you be able to sing happy birthday for me? I know you've got a great voice.
You got to go to cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, and I'll do it there for you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. You have a great day.
And by the way, it's amazing that your birthday is on White History Month. It's during
I know. Happy White History Month to you, sir.
Happy White History Month. And happy birthday to you. I wish you many, many more, man.
Lots of love, Jesse. Thanks a lot.
You
Have
too.
a great day.
You too, buddy. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Darius out of Texas. Darius, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing, Jesse?
All this word, Darius, hold on. Your phone's screwed up. Don't hang up. But it's all noisy. Super chat. You want me to come back to you? Super.
Super chats. Adam bought 3 coffees. George Soros used $4 billion of customer money to break the Bank of England. He also admitted on camera to ratting out Jews in hiding to Nazis during the Holocaust.
And
According
so-
to him. I don't know if that part's true.
Yeah, what does
He
that
took
mean?
their stuff.
He used $40 billion what?
Of customer money to break the Bank of England.
What customers?
That he doesn't explain.
Oh.
So his information may or may not be accurate, but that's what he claims. Adam.
Oh, okay. Will you get
3
your
coffees.
information from Adam and let me know what you mean by some of that? Thank you.
I don't think he ratted out Jews in hiding. I think he just took their stuff, helped confiscate their stuff, but I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam, for your 3 coffees. And thank you, guys. The Nate H says, Lord, please help this transformer. And thank you, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Amazing. Another hour to go. Hold on to the callers. Back in a moment. Hate news, not the fake news. I'll be back in a moment. Families and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy. They're miserable. They have rough lives. They're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 already of Bible Thumper Thursday, July 25th, AD 2024. JLP will be right back to your calls, guys. Call in. There is one line open during Hake News, Not Fake News. And he will be back. And we will have more great stories and topics as well. Call Me Nonsense Network. They're talking about wildfire season, Typhoon Gaemi, Gaemi. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. The Matrix is 25 years old. That movie, the transgender movie, speaking of transgenders, they turned it transgender after the fact. And Southwest Airlines is getting rid of open seating. What a mess. Wildfire season. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports a lightning-sparked wildfire is raging in eastern Oregon. It has scorched nearly 270,000 acres, making it the largest active wildfire in the United States. The Durkee Fire, Durkee, has already burned an area larger than the entire city of Indianapolis. Started over a week ago near the Oregon-Idaho state line and was still 0% contained as of early today. The extreme heat beating down on the west, so-called extreme, and other parts of the United States this summer, along with high winds, could be a recipe for danger leading into the wildfire season. Firefighters have warned this. Many wildfires have forced, wildfires have forced a town and a major national park in Canada's Alberta province to be evacuated. Several buildings have been burned by one of two raging wildfires menacing the town of Jasper in the Canadian Rocky Mountains, their largest national park, according to authorities today. And a powerful typhoon made landfall in northeastern Taiwan today, leaving major flooding and damage in its wake. Conditions in Taiwan worsened as Typhoon Gaemi, Gaemi, brought heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and a dangerous storm surge. That's when the water level rises a lot, something like that. It reached land in Yilan County with sustained winds of up to 125 miles an hour. That's pretty fast. That's a pretty strong wind. Co-equal to a Category 3 hurricane in the Atlantic. Continuous heavy rains and rising floodwaters across the Philippines also have killed at least 13 people and displaced more than 600,000, according to local officials. The typhoon is expected to make landfall in mainland China, its Fujian province, today, bringing more strong winds and downpours in a country already hit hard by weeks of extreme rain. Don't ask me what extreme rain is, but you may not want to see it in your town. Southwest Airlines is getting rid of open seating, according to Commie Nonsense Network, shifting assigned seats for the first time in its history. Everything's going down into the drain, into the dumps. A change that will allow the low-fare carrier to charge a premium for some of the seats on their planes. Wow. The Matrix turns 25 this year, the 25th anniversary of the Matrix original movie that had actor Keanu Reeves. He got emotional over how much the beloved sci-fi classic changed his life over the last 25 years. Well, we wish you well, Keanu Reeves. He's loved by everybody. 5 Olympic athletes in Australia's women's water polo team have tested positive for the China virus. Cases. As of Wednesday, the new cases have spurred questions about the measures in place to mitigate the spread of the virus at the Paris Olympic Games. Paris is known to be dirty and disease-ridden. That part may not be true, okay, but they do have a little trace amounts of E. coli in their River Seine, not Seine, even though it's spelled Seine. Especially as the French capital prepares to welcome around 15 million tourists in the coming weeks. Could be a recipe for sickness and disaster. So I'm James Hake. Now back to the JLP Peterson Show. Catch the Hake Report after the JLP Show. Then Joel Friday. And then American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. today. I'm James Hake.
It's White History Month. I'm gonna celebrate with my friends. It's White History Month. So be sure to tell everyone there will always be different months to celebrate. But this month's gonna be White History.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. There's a line open if somebody want to jump in there at 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. And my biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. Have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen God? An amazing question. You can listen to the show no matter what you're doing or where you are, anywhere in the world. We are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. So if you're busy, you're not able to sit and watch it. I know a lot of you, some of you podcast the show, but you can be listening. Your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. Isn't that amazing? Yes, Jesse, that is amazing. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or RebuildingTheMan.com. RebuildingTheMan.com. All right. It's Thursday. And every Thursday is Bible Thumper Thursday. Oh, Lord.
All right, brother. Are you ready? He's drunk as a badger.
Drunk as a bat.
Go ahead.
Did you say a bat?
Let that Holy Ghost language come up out of you. Go ahead.
What the? If anybody asks what's wrong with me, I'm saved, sanctified, and running for my life. He's running for his life, drunk as a bastard, running for his life. What's a bastard? How can you be drunk as a bastard?
I don't think that's the way it goes. I think he said drunk as a badger. No, in fact, I'm positive.
He said what now?
Drunk as a badger.
And what's a badger?
Let me see if I can show you a picture because it's an animal.
Oh.
And I think he even said that wrong because I think it's drunk as a skunk, no?
Oh. So
drunk as a skunk is mad as a badger is how I know it.
So a bastard drink.
A what?
A badger.
A badger.
You said drunk as a badger?
Correct.
What's that?
This. Oh, wait. Darn. What, we'll have to come back to that. What did I just do?
You don't have it.
But a badger's an animal, kind of like a skunk, sort of.
Oh. Okay. Whatever. 88. So what?
Huh?
888-7753. But whatever he drunk ass, he drunk. I didn't quite understand what that man said. He drunk ass something. But anyway, I got to tell you this. Remember I said that our battle is a spiritual battle? It is a warfare between good and evil. And every human being that you ever have seen and that you will see is evil until they forgive, until they drop the anger. Until they drop the anger. Every human being, everyone you know, everyone you will know, including your daddy, your mama, your grandmama, your sisters, your cousins, your wife, your husband, your friends, your coworker. Everyone that has anger is evil, right? And everyone has it. And a evil heart is a desperate, wicked heart. Angry people are desperate people. Have you noticed that? An angry person, male or female, is a desperate person. Have you noticed that? A desperate person. And a desperate person would do anything to get what they want. Say anything, do anything to get what they want. A desperate person have no light, have no love, have no God, except for Satan, the spirit of evil. And in my country today, unfortunately, well, I'm saying unfortunately, but I don't know. I may not mean unfortunately. But the reality in my America today, there is no love. There's only hate. One or two people are now waking up and they're coming back to love by overcoming evil. But the heart is wicked. Y'all have no idea how wicked human beings are until you start to overcome your wickedness and you see it in yourself. You're going to see it in others and it's going to blow your mind. And it runs deep. It runs deep. I want to give you an example of just one little small example, but yet a big example of wicked hearts. Really, there is no love. The hatred for Donald Trump is through the roof. And it's evil. The post-millennium is reporting 1/3 of Dems wish Trump had been killed by would-be assassin bullet. Isn't that amazing? 1/3 of Dems wish Trump had been killed by would-be assassin bullet, according to a survey. According to the survey last Thursday from Unheard, 1/3 of Democrats respondents agree with the statement, "I wish Trump assassin hadn't missed." 1/3. Isn't that amazing? According to this report, 1/3. This is from Unheard. The Dem wish that the assassin had not missed. 55% of those who wish the assassination had succeeded also agree with the statement, "White Republicans are racist." 55% of those who wished the assassination had succeeded also agreed with the statement, "White Republicans are racist," while only 20% disagreed. Isn't that amazing? Number one, there's no such thing as racism. It doesn't exist, never has existed, will not exist, can't exist. It's made up. That's why you have DEI now. It's for those people who cannot make it on their own. They don't have the common sense to take care of themselves. They don't have the talent. They don't have the know-how. It's not in them. And DEI is for those people because they simply cannot do for themselves. They made up the word racism for that purpose. And then they wish the attempted assassination had succeeded. Isn't that amazing? You know your heart is evil when you wish death upon your fellow man or woman. And when I say man, I mean woman too, right? That's evil. That's what we have over politics. Over politics. Another poll by YouGov released last week found that 67% of U.S. adults believe the current political environment makes politically motivated violence more likely. 67% of the people believe that political environment makes political motivated violence more likely. You know you're angry and evil and blind when you fight over politics. Think about that. You're fighting over politics. Two people disagree about politics and you fight over it. You don't know that something's wrong with you? Let that person agree or disagree. Why do you have to be mad about it? Because you're evil. Anger is evil. It is the nature, the identity of Satan. Because of, just think about that. Someone else can disagree with you on politics and you're mad at them and you think they are the problem. You are the problem. Remember we read a report Monday, a man got ran over for a Trump sign, according to the police. Remember that? Human nature is evil. Your mama is evil. Your daddy is evil. Your friends are evil. You are evil until you forgive and your heart changes. You're evil. When you're dealing with angry people, you're not dealing with that physical person. You're dealing with the evil spirit in that person, or spirits, because there are more than one. It doesn't make logical sense at all. It makes no sense to fight over anything, really, but especially politics. It doesn't make logic. Okay, you like Joe Biden? Go with Joe Biden. I'm for Trump? I'm for Trump. Go for Trump. Okay, fine. Why should I be mad about that? Oh, my other question I wanted to ask. I noticed that a lot of white women, mostly liberal, but a lot of white women are supporting Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris is stomped into abortion. She loved killing unborn children. She's for it, right? My question is, why is it that white women, especially liberal white women, why do they love killing children in the womb? Why do they love that? White women love. I want you to respond to that question for me on X. JLP Peterson on X. JLP Talk on X. Why is it that white women love killing the man's child in the womb? That's why we don't have any white babies. They're killing them in the womb. And a lot of white women with Camilla, because they want the opportunity to kill that man baby. And they're telling you all that you're going to be, what, the minority in America soon. You better be stopped trying to kill those babies. Kamala Harris doesn't care about you. She called Joe Biden a racist. Remember? Anyway, back to more hatred for the Great White Hope. According to this from X, a street interviewer questioned a woman about her thoughts on the recent Trump assassination attempt. And she commented, and her comments were shocking, not to me, but to people that don't know. Watch this.
So Donald Trump was recently shot at one of his rallies. How do you feel about that?
I wish he would have gotten shot in the forehead.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's basically like teaching our country like what communism is like, so.
So you wish death upon someone?
Him, yeah, unfortunately. I hate to say that because I don't have hatred in my soul at all.
Yeah, you do, you lie.
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
I think the way that our country has divided families, marriages, all of it about politics alone, like it all really started with him.
No, it didn't. That's
So
a
do you
lie.
think wishing someone death is not hateful?
I would say, yeah, absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
Men, if y'all run across that woman, you better stay away from her. That's the devil. That's evil. But that's typical in America today. It's not unusual now for human beings to hate one another. It's just not even unusual. It would be unusual to run into a human being that love one another. That would be a miracle. Isn't that amazing? In a Judeo-Christian country, you cannot find love. And then I noticed that angry, hateful people blame other people for their anger and their hatred. Nobody is to be blamed for your own hatred. That's your world. You're the one mad. Your parents are to blame that you fell into it as a little kid. Your mama recreated you in her image, but you're to blame for your own hatred. (888) 7753773. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. Come by here, Lord. Come by here. I never imagined, honestly, I grew up on a plantation in Alabama under the Jim Crow law. I was talking to my aunt the other day, one of them, and she was telling me that one of the owner of the plantation encouraged her when she was in high school, encouraged her to go to college. And he was white. But he encouraged her to go to college, and he would often check on her to see how she was doing through high school and stuff like that. And what ended up happening is that he paid for her full college tuition for the whole 4 or 5, however many years she went. The owner of the plantation surprised her and gave my grandfather, which was her father, a full, all the money she needed for college. The only thing she had to buy was her own food. Isn't that amazing? And he owned the plantation. And this hatred has never been like it is today. It's never been like this. This is new. I'm telling you, folks, drop the anger. If you want to be free of all your misery, because the people who have the anger are miserable people. The one thing you could bank on, you could do like George Soros, bank on it. Whatever George did. But bank on it. Any human being that has anger is a miserable person. They're miserable. They have inner pain. They have inner conflict. They have inner demons, and they are evil. They're not happy. And they won't ever be happy as long as they blame someone else for their misery. Anger is evil. You want to be free of your misery, your loneliness, your depression, your suicidal thoughts, your jealousy, your envy, your strife, your revenge. Drop the anger. And all you got to do, just drop and you can drop the anger just like that. Just like that, and it can be done. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Ohio and talk to first-time caller It's a Callan. I'm sorry? Colleen. Welcome to the show. You're on the air.
It's Calvin, by the way.
I'm sorry?
Calvin. It's Calvin.
Oh, they understood the whole thing. Calvin, sorry about that, buddy. Welcome to the show, Calvin.
Okay, so I've been watching the show for some time now. I usually watch it while I'm at work just to make the time go by faster. So you've always had this conversation with guests and callers about whether or not Jesus is God or the Son of God, and a lot of your callers
Are you on a speakerphone or something?
Oh, let me sorry about that. Can you hear me better?
Much better, man. Don't ever be on a speakerphone on the radio. What's up?
Okay, so you've asked different callers and guests whether Jesus is God or the Son of God.
Right.
And I've always heard the same answer from different callers defending that he's God. So honestly, I'm kind of on the side of Jesus is God, and I'm not going to repeat like the same answers that they give. So I'm going to give like at least a couple examples that no one has brought up. So when Jesus is in the temple and he's talking to the Jews, he basically says to them that before Abraham was born, I am. So the Jews got upset. Well, they laughed at him first because they said that, oh, he's not even older than 50. So how could you have known Abraham? So he says, surely I tell you, before Abraham was born, I am. Now, I am is the verb for, they use Yeshua as the word for God. They didn't use the word God back in the day. And Yeshua is the Hebrew verb for I am, to be. If you go back in history as far as Moses, when he was talking to God through the burning bush, he asked who he was, and God replied, I am. Then he told Moses to go to his people and tell them that I am the God of Israel, the God of Jacob, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac. So when Jesus said that, when Jesus said, I am, he's basically claiming he is God.
But
and
why
the
did
Jews
he
got upset with him
why
and
did he
wanted to
say,
try to stone him.
Why didn't he say he was God? He never said he was God. Even in even in the I am. Why did you read into that? Because you read that into it yourself. It's nowhere in the Bible. Even when he said that, he said he was God. Why did you why did you say he was God when he never said that?
So historically, they didn't use the word God during ancient in the ancient times of his time. They didn't use the word God.
But when they accuse him of being God, they accuse him of calling himself God. He said that
being God in human form.
He said that
Jews didn't believe.
He said that he is the Son of God.
Right. And and I know that a lot of callers.
I don't stay with me just with that. Then I'm gonna let you put in other stuff. But when they accuse him of calling himself God, he said he is the Son of God. Why would he have said that if he were God?
Because if he would have outright just said, I am God, the Jews would have considered that blasphemy, and they would have tried to stone him right then and there. It would have been considered grounds for condemning, to kill him.
And so where did you get that from?
Say,
where did you get that from, that if Jesus said that he was God, he was afraid that the Jews were going to stone him? Was he afraid of the Jews? God was afraid of the Jews?
He wasn't afraid that they would stone him. There was there was multiple times where the Jews and the Pharisees tried to stone him.
But Kevin, you're not hearing yourself. When they accused Jesus of calling himself God, Jesus said, "No, I am the Son of God."
So far as that, a lot of people go by the Trinity, which
but why are you, when Jesus said
Holy
he
Spirit.
when Jesus said he was the Son, not God, I'm not God, I am the Son of God. Why would he say that if he was God?
Because when he's saying that he is the Son of God, he's talking about himself as the different deity of God. There were three parts. There was God, the Holy Spirit, the Son of God.
Where you get that from?
Himself.
Where you get that from?
I know that the word Trinity is not in the Bible, but the Bible does speak about the different heads of God.
But
so
no, where
God,
did you get that?
Spirit.
Where did you get that from? That when Jesus replied, "I am the Son and not God. I'm the Son of God." You said something about he meant the different deity. Where did you get that from?
So when he's saying, "I am the Son of God,"
no, I'm asking you, where did you get that from? Where did you get that from?
So that part is when you read the Bible, you read the different verses. A lot of times you can't just read and say, "Oh, okay, cool, I got it. Let's turn the page." No, sometimes you have to actually just interpret. You have to actually sit there and study that verse or that paragraph. So when I was growing up, I grew up in the church. I'm black. I grew up in the church. So my grandfather, whenever we would have Bible study during Saturdays, when we read the Bible and he would have us read a paragraph, he would have us stop. We wouldn't go any further. He would ask us to read the paragraph, and then after reading the paragraph, he would want us to just sit there and try to get the understanding of what's being said, what's being talked about, what's going on.
Kevin, let me do this. Where did you get that from? That when Jesus replied by saying, "I am the Son of God," where did you get that? That he meant different deities. He meant this and he meant that. Where did you get that from? It's not in the Bible, so where did you get that from?
Because a lot of people believe in the Trinity.
Kevin,
Trinity.
Where did you get, when Jesus replied by saying that he is the Son of God, not God, right? The Son. You said he meant, he meant different deities. He's different deities. Where did you get that from?
Where I got it from was when he said that he's talking about himself.
I know you think that that's what he's talking about, but where did you get that from?
It's just reading and understanding.
That's not in the Bible. You can't read. You can't read that in the Bible. It's not there. So where did you get it from?
So far, it's like I read the Bible, I read the verses, and I just sit there and understand what's being said.
Oh, I see. So you sit there and let the devil make up all the other stuff for you?
No.
Because it's not in the Bible. Where are you getting the knowledge from if it's not out of hell? Hold on, Kevin. Hold on, Kevin. Don't hang up. 888-7753-773. Hold on, Kevin. I'll come right back to you after this break. And to all of the callers. Back in a moment. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? What I realized, it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have, or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing. Sweet America, you know God done shine his grace on thee and crown thee good. Remember how that song was just so beautiful? Because America was so beautiful. America meant something then. Isn't that amazing? Now you have the Allahu Akbar on the land, soil of America, fighting America. Death to America, they say. Death to Israel, they say. On the land, on the soil. What the? But anyway, couple quick announcements. The Hake, H-A-K-E report coming up at 9 a.m. right after my show. TheHakeReport.com. And James Hake is on fire. He ain't got that good hair for nothing. He's on fire. And you don't want to miss it. And after James Hake, after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday TV, mending relationships, all in the name. It's in the blood. Joel Friday TV, he black. At 11 a.m. Pacific time, he's back from his sickness, and he's on fire. When Joel came back, he brought a big old thing of soup, homemade soup. That soup was delicious. He brought it for all of us. That soup was so good, it made you want to slap your mama. Chicken and all kind of stuff in there. I didn't know Joel could cook. What the? Well, you say he had some help from some lady, a friend, but it was delicious. He is back. He's on fire at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor, no, not at 12 today, at 4 p.m. today. 4 p.m., the American Anchor, baby. Riding high. You don't need no ticket. You just get on board. You just get on board at 4 p.m. today. Remember that. At 4 p.m., the American Anchor, baby. And for personal shout-outs, go to cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Birthday shout-outs, weddings, anniversaries, whatever. Congratulations, encouragements, whatever shout-outs. Go to Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. I used to do them here, but that's all we were doing the whole 3 hours, shout-out. What the? But I'll still do them for you, but I have to do them at Cameo, cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And don't forget, like, follow, ring the bell, support us on social media. Y'all know how to do that, right? JLP Talk on X. Respond to the biblical question on X. Do you know God? Have you ever seen God? Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. We're on Rumble. YouTube.com/Jesse Lee Peterson, and Cozy.tv, where Christ is King. Christ is King over there. I don't know what they're doing over there. Why we need them over here. Let me go quickly back to Kevin. Kevin is the first-time caller out of... Oh, yeah, treasure chest. Thank you, Nick. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. We just did the part. So, Kevin.
Yep.
Nowhere in the Bible where it says Jesus was God. Jesus said, making it clear he was the Son of God. And you said, well, that meant he was the deity. He was this and that. That's not in the Bible. That's not in the Bible anywhere. Where did you get?
I'm gonna give you one last example.
Where did you get?
Another example,
Kevin.
Yes.
Where did you get that from? That he meant he was the deity, meaning that he was whatever. Where did you get that from? Tell me where you got that from.
Okay, so I'm gonna explain that real quick. And I'm gonna give you one last. I'm gonna give you another example because I'm gonna have to get back to work. But what I meant by that was a lot of people believe in the Trinity.
No, but I'm asking you, where did you repeat it and you quoted that? You said, well, when he said he was the Son, not God, but he was the Son, that's what he meant. Where did you get that from?
Because,
not what a lot of people believe and other people think. Where did you get that from? It's not in the Bible. Where did you get it from?
So by literally, he's the Son of God. So he's talking like that.
Kevin, you're still not answering the question though. Where did you get that? You did not get it from the Bible. You didn't get it from Christ himself. You didn't get it from God. Where did you get that from?
Okay, the Jews believe that only God could forgive
Kevin.
sin, right?
Kevin. Where did you get that from? That he meant he was the deity, and he meant that he was God's Son and everything, the Holy Spirit, everything. Where did you get that?
I'm saying that.
Kevin, where did you get that from?
I'm saying that a lot of people don't believe the deity.
Kevin, I'm not talking about a lot of people. I'm asking you because you said it. Where did you get that from?
Understanding what's being read and what has been read.
But you can't understand God of your own self. You can't understand.
So, all right, can I give you this?
I know, but just respond to that, then you can give me that. You didn't get it from the Bible. Jesus didn't say it. So you said you got it from your understanding, but you can't understand the things of God. So how were you able to come up with that?
I like to read. I like to just.
But that ain't in the Bible nowhere. Where did you read?
I like to read and understand what's going on, and I like to.
Kevin.
I like to read not only the Bible part of it. I like
Kevin, that's not in the Bible. Where did you get that from about the deity thing?
The deity. So, the deity of Jesus is like he's the Son of God, but God is also working within him, right?
Kevin, where did you get that from? You can't understand God on your own, so of yourself. So where did you get it? You didn't read it in the Bible. Did your granddaddy tell you that that's what it was or something?
No, it's not that. It's when you read not only the Bible aspect of it, but the historical knowledge of things. That's when you kind of like put everything together. And
you can't do that. You can't.
Said.
Your mind, your understanding of God is of the devil. It's from the devil. He can't understand God.
Okay. So
is that true or not?
I can't understand God. No one can understand God.
Right. So your understanding about God came from the devil. Why did you fall for that?
No, it's not from the devil.
Yes, it is. 100%. I promise you.
Okay.
I promise you, man. Your understanding, you can't sit there and read the Bible and then try to figure out what it's saying. You can't do that because you're listening to your imagination.
All right. So,
what do you say to that?
the second part of what I was trying to say was
Kelvin.
historically, yes.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I get you.
Do you disagree with that?
There's let's agree to disagree.
No, we can't do that. What the?
Why not?
Either it's right or it's not.
It's always, you have like your perception of things, and there's someone else's perception.
Trevor, hold on, buddy. Don't hang up. I think you're back on your speaker again. What's let me let you talk to Derek. And then don't hang up, though. I'll come back to you. Let me go quickly to Harrison out of Virginia. Just tell him to get off the speaker thing. Harrison.
Yeah, what's up?
All is well. You're on the air.
Hey, so I was here to answer your biblical question, but
have you ever seen God?
Yeah, so I did see God, actually.
Where?
Fun story. I was in a coma, and I guess I woke up in purgatory, and Jesus was kind of waiting for me. And then after I, was at his feet and made eye contact with him, then he took me up to see God, like actual God.
And what did he look like?
It was like, since I was out of my body, I can't really say I saw. It's like you go up there and you experience what it is to not be down on earth, if you understand what I mean.
So
by
you
that.
did not see God up there?
No, I did. I saw him. Yeah.
So, but you said you didn't see it, but you saw him. Which one was it?
I guess I have to say it is, because if I go up there, I'll just start leaking like tears and stuff because it's so bright. That's what God is, like light.
And so,
he was for me.
So the biblical question: have you ever seen God? Have you ever seen God?
Yes.
And you saw him up in heaven, you say?
You're kind of breaking in and out, but I did say I saw him up in heaven.
No, I don't want to bring. I want to say what you said. I don't want to make up anything, add to it, or take it away. So you said Jesus came and got you and took you up to heaven. You saw God, right?
Correct. Yes.
And what did God look like?
He just looked like nothing I'd ever seen before, because I didn't really believe in Jesus or God, but I guess.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what purgatory was either. I didn't even know that was a place my soul or my spirit could be. But I guess in a way, not having any expectations, just reporting it back to you is what my soul remembers. And it's beyond words, of course. But.
And what did God look like?
It was like all the energy that ever was, is, and will ever be, feeding into a point like on it within itself that it's so small, yet it holds everything that it ever was and ever will be. So it is very valuable. Like it's small, but it's valuable. It was non-existent to that point, because I guess up there are no words. You're just in awe. You're just kind of really.
Well, I appreciate you responding to the biblical question, but I want to do a little follow-up if I may.
Good.
So you died or something?
Yes, sir. I was on spring break, and a drunk driver drove over me in like a bus, and I was put into a coma. And then what I experienced is, I guess, what happened when my spirit left my body. What I just told you.
Right. And you say you were in purgatory?
Yeah, it was like on Earth, but no one, like in spirit form, no one could. I couldn't interact with people. I was kind of just observing everything down on Earth, so I could differentiate what's going on Earth. And then when Jesus took me up to heaven, it was like they showed me everything. Pre-COVID and stuff. It was kind of cool. The whole plan he's got.
And what did purgatory look like?
Kind of a empty, void space of just like quietness and just like, I guess, a place where a lot of demons would be, because that's what down here. A lot of people are, I guess, trapped in purgatory, from what I see after having a near-earth experience.
How old are you?
25.
And so, are you out of purgatory now?
Well, I go in and out kind of based off whatever I'm supposed to do for that day. Like, I'm kind of led by spirit. I don't really make...
So purgatory is hell, right?
I guess it could be, but I don't really see it as hell. I don't really see it that way.
And you see it as heaven?
No, I see it as just space for potential of either further damnation, which would be, I guess, the word hell, or there's potential to create heaven in that void space. That's just how I see it.
Right. And so you go in and out of purgatory?
I guess yeah, I do.
And why? Why do you go in and out of it if it's hell?
I guess in a way, I in my heart, I believe that's what I'm here to do right now. Just right now.
What's the purpose of you going in and out of hell?
I guess making sure no stone is left unturned when you're concreting a baseline for like heaven, like a frequency for heaven and a place like on this earthly plane. I had to go up to heaven to experience heaven to bring that experience down on earth. So when I say I go in and out of purgatory, I'm kind of just planting little mustard seeds of faith in a way.
About you going in and out of hell?
Yeah, I guess.
And so what's the purpose of you coming back? If you went up there where God is, you saw him, what was the purpose of you coming back here when they need you over there?
Well, what I guess pulled my spirit, because I didn't want to come back to Earth. You know, Earth is hell. I wanted to stay up there, but the reason, I guess, what was the question? Why did I come back here? I mean, the love for my family kind of pulled me back down here, like the love I have for them, which I guess connected me or tied me to them, is what brought me back down here.
But nobody loved their family. Why? How did you happen to have love for your family when nobody loved? The family don't love you and you don't love them. How would that bring you back?
Correct. Yeah. No. At the time when I was 16, when all this happened, I was a complete beta. So I literally had a completely misunderstanding of what all this whole life thing is.
Right.
But now that I was shown what I was shown when I was, taken up to heaven. It's all choice. You say there's no such thing as free will. I kind of agree, because everything has a plan and has a purpose. And you just kind of observe it, and I guess in retrospect, God will show you what purpose it had for you in that moment.
One last quick question, and I want you to call me again whenever you can about this, all right?
All right.
What did Jesus look like? Because he came and got you, right?
In purgatory, yeah, he's what took me up to God.
And what did Jesus look like?
To be honest, it's the second you, to use the word that the previous caller was saying, like the deity, like when you're a human, and I was 16 at the time, I didn't believe in Jesus. The first exposure to him, it was so overwhelming that the next thing I knew, I was at his feet. Like I whatever I was, just dropped down, because I was just flabbergasted is the word I'd use. Like I had no idea that God was even a real thing. So it was an instant moment of just being overwhelmed. I couldn't really describe it with a picture.
And so was your greater experience with Jesus or God? I sound like you had a pretty good time with Jesus. Which one was best? Which one you had the best time with, Jesus or God?
Definitely God. Definitely up in heaven.
Did you fall to God's feet too?
No, God didn't have feet. God was like in the entirety of it. God is what heaven is. I guess in my experience, that's what it was. But yeah.
Harrison, I gotta run. Only reason I'm running out of time here, but will you call me again on this?
Of course, yeah, I will.
Thank you, and thank you for responding to the biblical question.
Awesome. Well, have a good day.
Hey, Harrison, do you have perfect peace? Yeah. You have perfect peace now?
I do. I do believe I have 100%. I have perfect peace.
Nice.
Awesome.
When you call me back, I want to hear more about your little perfect peace.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Super chat. Super.
Super chat.
Super chats.
Adam clarifies with his coffee about Soros and the billionaire stuff and the customers.
Right. Nice.
He meant the customers of his hedge fund. Adam says, I meant the customers of George Soros' hedge fund, Quantum Fund. The full story is somewhat detailed, but worth reading. As for his activity during the Holocaust, he discussed it during an interview with a major network, ABC, and other places. He shared locations of those hiding so that he could survive and get paid. He says he feels nothing about it. Okay, Adam, thank you for your coffee.
Yeah.
I still understood it a different way, but thank you.
I will have to look into this. This would definitely make me want to know more about it. So I'm going to have to look into it. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Adam.
It. Yeah.
Gen C, 20 coffees. Very generous. Good morning, JLP Universe. Gentlemen, I highly recommend you do a deep dive on Mr. Netanyahu. He's not what he appears.
The dream team. Netanyahu. No, Donald Trump. Netanyahu and Putin.
Oh, yeah.
Dream team. Amazing.
Throw in Kim Jong-un for good measure. Just kidding around.
Whoever that is.
Little Rocket Man?
Oh.
North Korea.
Oh. What now?
I'm kidding around.
You better be.
It starts with Netanyahu's funding of Hamas to begin with. I know you can't say these on air, but blah, 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 blah. She has some tips. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll look into that. Thank you. I appreciate it.
But anyway, yeah, we'll get into it. Thank you, Gen C. Mav Angel, 5 coffees. Simply amazing, Jesse.
Amazing. You're the best. Boom, doom, doom, doom. Better than all the rest. Better than anyone I've ever had. Is that the same song that Alexis sang to you, Nick? You're the best. I thought you told me.
He's shaking his head.
I thought you told me when Alexis got back, she's saying you're the best. Better than all the rest. What?
Oh, that one? Yeah. I sang the other one.
You sang
My Baby.
My Baby. My Baby coming home tomorrow. Ain't that good news? And she saying you're the best.
I was singing it out loud by myself, I thought.
In the office. Amazing. Thank you.
The Key bought our coffee. Biblical question answer.
Have you ever seen God?
Yes, Jesse. My father made a grand appearance on July 13th when he threw himself over his son, the Great White Hope, and protected him from the enemy's demise. It was amazing. He looked like a light in the midst of the darkness. I know you've seen your daddy show up in rare form for our brother Trump.
Amazing. Thank you for responding. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. If the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
The Key says, Hake, please read Psalm 7:13. He has prepared his deadly weapons. He makes ready his flaming arrows. But our Father protects us from them all. The Father looks like truth and protection, says the Key.
Amazing. Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. Jesse. No I in Jesse. Jesse. Morning to you and the staff at Bond. Keep it up. Amazing. 2 years ago, I was living with my dad and his girlfriend. What a mess. But I stayed with the silent prayer. Now I got my own spot and car and didn't have to move a muscle. I stayed with it, and it was amazing to see I made it through the storm. Bond rocks.
Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Aussie Lisa G says with a coffee, not sure about seeing God regarding the biblical question of seeing God. But I saw Jesus when I watched Hassan's music video, Waiting on God, Waiting on God. Amazing.
He's waiting on you.
Heart eyes emoji.
Thank you. Amazing.
Someone bought a coffee. Hello, team, Mr. Jesse. Why don't you wear your readers so you can read the information?
I know.
Want to understand however sometimes it's tough.
It's hard on a black man in America.
The Nate H. Gers bought a diamond, another diamond. Happy White History Month with an H. Jesse.
Happy White History Month. July just feels white. Amazing. Thank you.
James Jeep bought a coffee. Jesse, here you go. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. John chapter 1.
Amazing.
Thank you, James Jeep. It may not mean what you think it means. Walking on water with a couple of diamonds. Happy birthday, Hake. Jesse, your thoughts on Kamala running for president?
Kamala Harris, empty shell. She couldn't find her way out of a paper bag, and she should not be the president of this great nation. And she's a female, and females were not created to lead, but to follow. So there you have it. As you're a Democrat and a liberal and crazy. Thank you.
Shout out to the top contributors on D-Live, Maverick Angel, the Nate Hgers, Games for Rec, Kid Combo 1.0, Misty, and the rest. Thank you guys for the support on the D-Live crew. And thanks, guys. I do believe that's all for now.
Thank you all. Amazing. Amazing. Listen, I am so out of time. Tomorrow is Open Line Friday. And if you call me tomorrow, I'm going to get to all of you as much as possible, all right? So Calvin, a first time call out of Ohio. Talk about the Deity. And Robert out of New York. Isaac. What? Isaac, first time call out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Sergio, first time call out of Los Angeles. Jaime out of Minnesota. I'm out of time. What a show. Get on that straight and narrow, folks. All right? I'm telling you. Forget all that you know. Be a dummy. And you shall know the truth. And the truth will make you free. You got to forgive your mama and your daddy, especially your mama and your daddy. And God will forgive you. You will enter into the kingdom, and everything will open up for you. All right? So do the silent prayer. rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. And Calvin, a first-time caller, call me back tomorrow if you can, or whenever you can, and remind me that I asked you to call back, because I want to hear a little bit more about that deity thing that is not in the Bible. And it's just made up. It ain't even in the Bible. The Jew ain't said it. Nobody said it. The Jews didn't say it. All right. Bye, y'all. The Hake Report is coming up now. Then Joy on Friday TV. And at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. Thank you all. Thanks for your support as well. Bye now. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself, or how much you have or don't have, or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com, for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.